Hello everyone, Abby here, Purple Cottage Crafts, and welcome back to another video here on my channel. So this is going to be the first video in a new series I'm doing on my channel, which is going to be a Sashiko Stitch With Me series I'm going to do on my channel. So if you are interested in seeing how I did some stitching on this bit of denim and how I deconstructed the denim and the different items that I'm going to be using in this video, then go ahead and keep watching and I'll see you at the end. Okay, so before I started stitching, I wanted to just kind of real quickly share with you the different types of needles and threads that I'm going to be using, a combination of. This is just going to be a very brief one. I plan on doing a video series on different types of needles and flosses and things like that down the road, but for now I just kind of wanted to do just a quick one here. So the types of needles I'm going to be using, these are Dritz ones. All of these I bought, you can get them like at Joann's, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, places like that. But I also have other brands of needles which will be further discussed in my future video down the road. So what this one here, what I plan on using is a tapestry needle and the chenille needle. And the tapestry needle, it's a longer needle with a large eye and a blunt tip, and it can kind of go through different textiles and fabrics, thicker material like jeans, you know, denim, especially like if it's doubled up like this pocket right here, things along that line. And then a chenille needle, it's a longer thick needle with a large eye, and you can use that one for and as I'm talking I'll throw some pictures up, sorry about that, should have shown that to you. So this is the tapestry needle, okay, and then this is the chenille needle. It's a long thick needle, excuse me, with a larger eye, and that way you can put several strands of embroidery floss yarn or fibers along that line through the eye of the needle. So if you want to incorporate that kind of stuff into your work, you certainly can. So those, I'm going to be using a combination of those two today. And then I also have some more chenille needles in here. This package here has a few different lengths, so I'm going to be pulling from there probably. And then crewel needles. I'll hold this up so you can see a bit better. So crewel needles, they have a long, medium, kind of a longer eye than most needles, and I'll try to put a picture in to compare this next to another needle just so you can kind of have a better visual of that. And it's a sharp tip, and it's used for like general surface embroidery, like you know, just general embroidery stitches. You can use it for crewel work. You can use it for gold work, white work, red work, and I have some samples of red work, and I'll throw that up here. As I'm talking, I'm also working on some black work and a white work project, but the red work is the one that I have readily available to where I can show you a picture of what I'm talking about. And also with Sashiko needles, they have the ones that are a golden eye needle, and I do have one in here. I have my glasses on so I can't hardly see. And this is a longer one, and again I'll put a picture up so you can see a little bit better, because this probably is not going to be the best example, but you can see it has a golden eye tip on there, and then they're really long and slender like that. So the golden eye needles, the gold plating that is on the eye and the top part of the needle, it's used to make the needle just a bit more slippery so you can run it through your fabric a lot easier. Because when you're doing Sashiko, it's basically a running stitch. You're just going like that. And so this gold eye just kind of helps pull that thread through the fabric a little bit smoother than just like a regular, you know, needle that you would use. Okay, so let's get on to the thread. So there is specific Sashiko thread. You can use anything you want to, of course. So I have more than these collars. They're just in my other Sashiko tote, which is not in here where I'm at right now. But I ordered these. You can get these from a variety of places. Etsy, eBay. I think I got these from either Etsy or eBay. I can't remember. I bought a pack. You can get from Amazon, all kinds of places online. Just search for Sashiko thread. If I can find where I bought this set, I'll link it below. And this is what it looks like when it comes packaged like that. Okay, and I went ahead and already took mine out because I like to keep mine out of the packaging. It's a bit easier for me to do it that way. So one thing I do want to mention real quick about this, and I'm sorry I'm taking so long to get to the stitching, but I did want to explain this since I'm doing Sashiko. Okay, so the Sashiko thread, much like embroidery floss and some other fibers and whatnot, they are tied with a little tie right there. So what they tell you when you're doing Sashiko, and I have tons of different Sashiko pattern kits that I am working on and have been for years, and I'll show those in a separate video, but what they instruct you to do is just to cut like one end of this. And usually what I do is I just kind of cut right here. I cut them all in half, so then I have this one long length. And the reason you have this so long is when you're doing your Sashiko, stitching, is you're just going to, you're going in like long lengths of it. So when you're doing embroidery floss, they suggest, you can do whatever you want, of course, is that when you cut your embroidery floss to use, that it's not longer than like up to your arm. So that way, so like half of this, like this one strength here. That way your thread is not getting tangled up when you're doing different types of embroidery, knots and stitches and things like that. So I have these colors here. It comes in a rainbow of colors, all different shades and hues of all the different colors. So there's that. And then I'm also going to be using some DMC just because I like the color combination. So traditional Boro stitching and Sashiko stitching is done with just traditionally with like white. And I don't have white in here. It's kind of a cream. But of course you can, use whatever you would like. But if you're doing traditional Sashiko, it's, done with white. And I will link the gentleman I follow below. He is actually from Japan. He's Japanese. And this has been something that his family has done for generations. He does his live shows, one in English and one in Japanese. He's a phenomenal guy. I really, really enjoy him. And I'll also link his Instagrams. But I'm going to kind of mix it up and use some different colors here as well. Oh, I did want to explain real quick the difference between why this is why they typically use Sashiko thread and kind of what it really is. It's 100% Egyptian cotton, and it's a non-divisible type of thread, or cotton thread. And what that means is that you cannot separate each strand like you can with embroidery floss. So it's just one strand right there. Okay, so you can't take it apart. So it's just like, just a more consistent thread size going through your different projects. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get a few pieces of the denim set up and cut up, so you have to watch me do that. And I promise the next clip will actually be doing some stitching. So I will see you in just a minute. So I just have a few rows of some just basic stitches there, and I wanted to kind of incorporate some different bits of textiles on here. I kind of wanted to make the mending look, so to speak. Now technically there's not a hole right here, but that doesn't mean you can't still make a patch. So these are some samples I got from Hobby Lobby in the aisle where they have the like the rolls of like, you know, the tapestry and the textiles like for furniture and whatnot. And they have samples that are clipped on there. So I cut these down so I could use one of these. And I think I like how this one looks on here. Kind of a cool little, you know, little bit. But I'm going to cut some of this down because I don't want it to be quite so large. Plus I can kind of reserve some of that textile for some, you know, for another project or something. So I have threaded up the darker blue of the Sashiko thread, the Egyptian cotton thread, but then I also threaded up a needle using the DMC, the cotton pearl. And here's the number, just in case you're curious about the number. You like the color. Really pretty. So I think I'm going to use that actually to go around the edges of the patch that I'm going to be making. And then I can do some decorative stitches and stuff inside of here. So like maybe some cross stitching or something like that. So I thought I would just kind of pop back on and share with you my plan and what I'm going to be getting ready to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started stitching. Alright guys, so this will be the end of the very first video in my new Sashiko stitching series, and I wanted to show these to you up close. I wanted to do more of a chitty chatty part when I was working on this, but my husband was in here and he was doing some business, some work calls and whatnot, so I had to put that part to music. So I apologize for not having, you know, me doing this while I'm sitting here chit-chatting with you, but this is so cool. I love this piece, and when I get all the way done with the series at some point, I'll show you the different ways I'm going to be using these pieces that I'm doing some stitching on. So there's the back side. Alright, so I will have links to the items that I mentioned earlier in the video, to some of the supplies that I've purchased, and I hope that you're enjoying this series, well, at least the very first video in the series, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!